Well then, Chelsea 2 by Leverkusen 0, but that doesn't tell you the full story. Chelsea were on a different planet. They were in a different galaxy. They were in a different universe tonight. I know they've lost Alonso and a few players, but the difference in class, the gulf in quality that we witnessed tonight, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Chelsea are going to be dangerous. They're going to be a problem, and they are in this title race. It is clear, it is obvious, and it is happening. Whether you like it, whether you loathe it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are a serious top-level outfit. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Look, we're going to go through the game. We're going to go through your comments. Want to know what you think, what you feel in relation to this performance from Chelsea. Yes, it's pre-season. That's why the result isn't the key element. But that performance is sobering. That performance is scary. Scary indeed. This year from CFC since 1990 says Esteval is him. Grey Wolf Dinner says, I'll be putting my chest fully out for the league if I wasn't worried about fatigue. That's the only thing Chelsea fans have to be worried about, Grey Wolf Dinner, is the potential of fatigue. Blue is the color, just says Chelsea with loads of blue heart emojis. DJ says, what a good win. Esteval has arrived, and he certainly has. They scary as well. Listen, I'm talking about my perspective. You know, you don't need to be. You might think it was average. You might not like the word, but let's not dwell on semantics, my dear friend. Chelsea came back 4 days ago. Yes, I mean, they've only been off for the better part of 3 weeks, so you wouldn't expect as much rustiness. I actually think that's going to help Chelsea start the season very well. I think Chelsea are going to have a very good start to the season because of their... I think they'll have a very good start to the season because of being in the Club World Cup. That's what Grey Wolf Dinner said. Maybe fatigue later in the season. But this is a big squad, and this is a squad with depth. There's a young lad that come on. I didn't even know he played for Chelsea, and that isn't a dig. Is it Esugo? He came on for Caicedo, number 14. The commentator said it, and he was right. I forgot Caicedo wasn't on the pitch. They stand similar. They move similar. They win the ball back similar. They've got a bloody clone of Caicedo in this squad. Let that sink in. Just brilliant. Grey Wolf Dinner here says, going through that hardship last season and pulling through really does strengthen your mentality. Of course it does. A lot of athletes will advocate this, that adversity is a privilege within sport. It's a massive privilege within sport. It really, really is. And I think Chelsea demonstrated that in absolute floods tonight. Absolute floods in every single which way. Chelsea are cooking is what Phil here says. Phil, you're spot on, mate. That Chelsea were cooking tonight. And as far as I'm concerned, you can take that to the bank because they were brilliant. We're going to break it down. We're going to go through it. We obviously want to get your comments. We're going to take some calls tonight on the show as well. But everything I told you about Chelsea is coming to fruition. This isn't because I'm this oracle of football. It isn't. I'm not sitting here like, oh, guess what? I told you so. That isn't my approach here. It was obvious. You watched you watched the beginning of last season. After the opening game of the campaign through to December, Chelsea were purring. They then went through that adversity that we spoke about. Their performances needed to get better. They did. The last 6 games of the season, even the Newcastle win, they didn't play badly. Nico Jackson cost them. Last 6 games were brilliant. Amazing throughout the Club World Cup. They had 1 game where they got done on the counter, and then they adjusted for it. They've had a fantastic summer of purchases. For me, it was obvious that Chelsea were going to look this good. It was a dot on the card. It was almost a certainty. Like the sun was going to rise this morning, and as it's going to set tonight, Chelsea were going to be so much better this year. They just were. And we saw that tonight. And my word, listen, before we get onto the new boys, Palmer. I got sick to my back teeth last year of people watching him have the first bad period of his career, which is normal, which happens, writing him off, flashing the pan, one season wonder. The utter nonsense said about this man, I felt it. There's less shit when you go for a chronic irrigation. You know, the old tube up the old batty hole, right? Less shit at that than people that were attacking Palmer last year. He's a special talent. He's a fantastic player. And as well run as Man City are, I'm just going to keep saying this every week. It's maybe the biggest mistake they've made in the last 10 or so years. Well, until we get the verdict in. But he was phenomenal. You can't deny that. He was absolutely phenomenal tonight. The relationship he's already built in a handful of days with Esteval was also special to watch. And that relationship is often easy when you're looking at two high quality, high IQ, intelligent, technically gifted football players. They almost knew where each other were going to be. That will get better as they bond, as their relationship progresses. But Palmer tonight was special. The first goal, listen, Palmer, the chip was outrageous. No one's really talking about it. But he tonight is looking back to his best. And for Chelsea's title push, because yes, I'm saying it, Chelsea are pushing for this title. He is going to be key. I'm going to come on to Esteval. Don't worry. If you're watching this, you're going, what about Esteval? I'm getting there. Gittins came on in the second half. When Chelsea signed him, it was one of those moments where you ever been in a room? You might have been on a bus. You could have been in a classroom. You could have been in the staff room at a party. Someone says something outrageous and you're talking to somebody else. You're like, yeah, I know. I went around the back. They weren't in. I didn't know what was going on. And you hear it and you sort of stop talking. You go, I went around the back and then what? And it takes your attention away. That's what happened to me when people were talking about Gittins. Oh, why are they buying him? He's not even that good. His stats aren't amazing. Now, I love a stat as much as the next guy. But if you've never seen Gittins play, again, you should keep your mouth buttoned. The potential of this man, the speed of this man, the close control, the dribbling, the danger that he possesses is another level. And he's got to maintain what he did tonight, do it more regularly, do it every week, or as many weeks as possible. But I was sitting there thinking, I know what Chelsea fans are thinking when he came on and within seconds was twining man up on the left-hand side. I know what they were thinking. I'm so glad that we haven't got Sancho doing these pass back. Just directness. That directness is exactly what Maresca wants. I thought he came in and he demonstrated why he is going to be, in my opinion, he's going to be, but he's going to represent such a threat and such danger going into next season for Chelsea. Just an absolutely phenomenal, young, brilliant talent. Now, there was another man, I've already mentioned him on the live stream, but it's the young guy that came on. Is it Dario Estegol? I don't know. I might have butchered his name, and I apologize if I have. I never heard of the guy. Fuck me. Genuinely. I was watching him play, and the commentator said something, and I was like, it could be misinterpreted in the world we live in, but I mean this with the utmost respect. I thought it was Caicedo. Not through appearance. That would be bigoted. But I'm talking stance, stature, movement, the way he wins a ball back. It's like a clone. Is that something else, Clearlake? Is that something else Todd B has brought in? Are they cloning people now? Is that what they're doing? Because that's what it looked like. It was like Face Off. Do you remember Face Off, Nicolas Cage, John Travolta? It's like Caicedo got subbed off, but they put him back on with a different face on. It was ridiculous. I can't believe how good he is. I know you've got Lavia to come back from injury, but I don't know if you're going to need him. In fact, Man United, we want Belieber. Put a cheeky bid in. Put a little cheeky one. I bet you could twist Chelsea's arm and get him cheaper than Belieber. He looked amazing. Of course, I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I was very, very, very impressed indeed. João Pedro come on. Just listen, I'm so glad I listened to you guys. I'm so glad I listened to my community. Terry, I think you've got the João Pedro thing wrong. Don't not die on that hill. Don't even go on that hill to be shot at. Don't do it, my friend. Stay away from that hill. Thank you. I will say this. A lot of people don't know this about myself and, my channel, the Football Terrace, that Chelsea were the first fans of another team to really adopt the Football Terrace as their own. And we've got a massive Chelsea following on this channel. Just through the bad years, it's gone a little dormant, which I understand, right? I get it. But they came out in their hose and Terry, don't die on that hill, man. You'll regret it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be objective and watch. I've only seen him in a Chelsea shirt 3 times. I'm so glad I got off that hill. He came on and just, his link-up play could drop deep, could drift out wide. He can do all the things that Nico Jackson could do well, but he just scores goals. And he obviously picked up another goal tonight. I felt Chelsea's performance actually deserved a bigger scoreline in reality, but it is what it is. And then for me, look, you guys in the comment section are going to talk about other players. Yeah, there might be other names you want to mention and talk about that you were impressed with, and that's absolutely fair. But I need to speak about Esteval Willian, because there was talk a few days ago that Chelsea were going to loan him out. There was talk a few days ago that Chelsea were going to take him away from the limelight, send him out on loan. I know that has now been debunked. I've read the story, but I'm just going to reiterate this message just in case there are any remaining burning embers. Don't do it. For the sake of Chelsea Football Club, don't do it. I think you've unearthed something special here. Do you remember that movie, Blood Diamond? When my guy finds the big pink diamond that's worth millions. I think that's what you've done here. I think you found a pink diamond. And it's massive. This kid, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with everything. Do you know what I liked? He's got technique, he's got intelligence, but he's direct with it. It's not a load of old dribbling and step overs and flicks and tricks and woo for nothing. There's end product. He's got a poacher's instinct. He likes to take a shot. He can play in the central areas, can play well out wide. My giddy gosh. I haven't said that for many years. I used to love saying that as a kid. My giddy gosh. This young man is going to be a superstar. Don't loan him out. Keep him in this first team. Nurture him. Protect him when you need to, Maresca. But Chelsea have found themselves Palmer 2.0 because I think there's so many similarities. But I think they can both play at the same time. Sometimes you can get 2 players that are similar and they don't work for your team. But these 2 are going to be different because they can both score and create. The only time those similarities become a problem and they don't merge well together is if you have a situation where they both just want to take shots or they both just want to create and you need a little bit more contrast, dichotomy, and difference. But they do both. They both do both. And that was his first game on English soil. Yes, it's a friendly. It's not a real goal yet. We know that. I know somebody, it's not a real goal, Terry. Rivals of Chelsea. It's not a real game. It's not his debut. I know. But you know as well as I know, this kid is built different. And we've all seen it with Max Dowman at Arsenal recently. You watch him and you just go, shit. That's proper talent. We saw it when Kobe Mainoo who came onto the pitch for Man United. First game, everyone in reality just went, what's this? Same tonight. I watched him play and just went, oh my God. Oh my days. He's phenomenal. Chelsea have got an absolute star in the making. Gutted, but happy for you guys. I'm happy for the Chelsea fans in my community because you're like family at this point. But look, Chelsea are dangerous. Chelsea are going to be in this title race. Tonight's performance proves it. By the way, I'm going to put it out there now. I might not get the scoreline right, but performance-wise, they're going to batter, pin back, dominate, and almost embarrass Milan. I think it's Milan they play Sunday. It's going to be a different level. It's just going to be an absolute beatdown. Chelsea are going to lay that marker. People that are putting their bets on, people that are doing their top 4 predictions and all this stuff, if you're writing off Chelsea in anything, you're a fool. You're a fool. You're a damn fool. Because this team, I'm going to say it now, Chelsea are back this season. They are back with a vengeance. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you leave your comments below. Get that bell notification button turned on as well. Look, this is a serious Chelsea team. We're going to go to some of your calls that have come through. I have a few super chats first, actually. Let me do them. I want to respect them that have come through. The way that Palmer Esteval switched going in their positions. Yeah, I haven't seen a front three in the Premier League that have had that level of that have had a level of fluency as good as Tevez, Ronaldo, Rooney since then. There's been very good ones, but when I mean by fluency, I mean being as comfortable on the left as the right, the center as the left, the right as the center, and vice versa. Them two can do it. And I'm also thinking about João Pedro, he's pretty comfortable as well. The fluidity of those two is something else. Invest in Gitten stocks before it's too late. I agree with you, Abdi. I agree with you 100%, brother. Because we spent and made that billion in 3 years. People are so butthurt by it. I'm just sitting there going, Ineos! Sell the women's team. Sell some land. Just buy some land and sell it to somebody else at a profit a week later. Do something. Flip it. You know what I mean? Make some money. Do it the Chelsea way. I genuinely forgot we signed Gittens. You ever done that where you put a coat on, you put your hand in a pocket, go, oh, it's 20 quid. It's kind of like that. Shut it, Terry. I'm taking ex-pro Jamie Carragher's words over yours. He said we haven't improved from 12 months ago, and you won't convince me otherwise. Yeah, what a twonk. Me myself and Goldbridge, hot takes on Tuesday. We'll be reacting to that. Don't you worry. Garnacho in this environment, scary. Listen, I think he's going to do fantastic if and when he joins your club. I think he's going to do fantastic. I can't lie. He's going to do brilliant. I'm very worried how the second half of the season is going to go. I hope they don't drop with injuries because of the Club World Cup. Our entire squad needs to be utilized. I can understand that fear factor. I can understand that being a concern. But I wouldn't let that take away from any of your enjoyment right now. And even if you do fade a little bit towards the end, at least you know next year you're going to be grand. Like, if you get to the last 2 months and you just can't quite keep the pace with Liverpool, as an example, and you finish 5-6 points off the top, it's like, that's disappointing. But you're like, we're going to get... I know there's a World Cup, but it's kind of different because everybody's got it. Does that make sense? So, yeah. We snatched up SD'd when we were stealing. Oh, he's the guy from Sporting. Right. Yes. I do know who that is now you've said it. I just forgot, to be honest with you. I just forgot. Love watching you on the United stand. As a United fan, I wonder why Chelsea would even want Garnacho. He sat there waiting for them, and they want him. Listen, objectively, Garnacho is a very talented player. And I often think the clubs that are actually trying to buy you is often an indicator objectively of how good a player is. You know, if United want to get rid of you and all that's interested is some average team in Holland or some average team in Spain or some average team in Greece or some average team in Turkey, they're the only clubs that want you. But you've got someone else who's got one of the biggest and best, one of the greatest clubs in European football history, one of the best clubs in the last 20 years, and one of the current best teams in England want to buy you, and are willing to spend tens of millions, willing to increase your salary, objectively speaking, decent player. People will let this go under the radar, but how good did Esogo look? Hato looking comfortable. I didn't even mention Hato. You wouldn't have even known. But I also think that's because you pinned them back and you stopped them doing anything, really. But he looked good. People worrying about fatigue, forgetting most of these players are kids. This is also true. They are very young. They are very, very young. And I think True Blue, that will definitely pay dividends. Right, we're going to go to some calls now. We've got Wintersurfer. We've got Andrew Barnes. We've got Jesse. We've got man like Kwess coming on to have their say. We'll bring them kind of through ones and twos at a time. So we're going to kind of maybe do it a little differently. We might do panels on the reaction shows this year. We're going to be led by you, the viewers. But we always have to change things up to get as many opinions and fan opinions through as we possibly can. But the most important thing I need from you guys right now is the like button hit, the subscribe button hit, and the bell notification button hit, because it's going to be an epic season and you need to know when we're going live. First on the show with me, Wintersurfer is here. What am I doing? Why is that button not working? There it is. Wintersurfer's on the show with me now. Welcome back, my friend. And the Premier League's a week away, but you guys look good.
Yeah, it was a very impressive run out today. And what I liked about it is that you didn't mention, like, all our subs. We changed all our outfield players as well. There was no outfield player who started the game that finished the game, and they just played the same as well. it was good because we needed that after the Colwell news this week. We needed some of us a bit deflated with that. So, but it was nice, and no 007 for Esteval, so that's out the window because I know people take friendly stats into 007 now. This time around here,
it's gone mental. It's gone mental, isn't it? It's gone mental. It's gone mental.
It's mad. Yeah, he was very impressive. He's you can tell Palmer's going to enjoy playing with this guy. You can just tell. Palmer was spraying the ball around like he was like Pirlo today. It was just like every time he got the pass, it was just effortless for him. And we're back. We're a bit of a different pre-season. We've just had an extended like international break, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? It's just been that sort of thing. And it was very impressive, very controlled, and the pressing was very good, especially for the first hour or so. We sort of backed off, but that's to be expected. But yeah, it was an overall very important. I know Esteval's going to get the news, but I got to say, I know you've said it a couple of times. This is Sugo guy. He's a beast. He's a beast. He's an absolute beast. And like you say, I don't worry now if he's going to stay there, and like we're worried about Lavia's fitness issues and stuff like that. Then I'm okay. Sugu, very, very good, very impressive. Overall, a good start. We didn't even play like Enzo Fernandez today or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It was just one of those. I'd like to see Delap get a bit more involved. That was probably the only thing, but otherwise,
yeah. You know what? I thought he actually had. In fairness,
he had a decent chance in the first half.
Yeah, he had two decent ones. One cross from Cucurella, and then the ball into the box from George. Where look, Flecken, the first one goes straight at Flecken.
Yeah.
The second one, Flecken just kind of makes himself big and gets a fortuitous touch. I'd like to see him get a little bit more involved, but
I like him. But I like what he does do is different from Jackson. Is just his presence and his movement in the box makes him like a distraction for defenders. Yeah. So it's like it then gives the wingers like Estevao had another chance in the first half where he shot right at the goalkeeper, and I just feel if that was like Jackson would have been like off to the side or not even trying to make a run or something like that. But it's a very, very good performance. Like I said, it's like you say, you didn't even mention Hatto. I thought Hatto came on and just slotted right in there and stuff like that. It's looking good. And like you say, we benefit. It was the first 4 games are in London for us to start the Premier League season as well. So it's not as if we have to travel that far.
Yeah, yeah. No, as you say, I think you just look. And I think part of it is because you're at the Club World Cup, and I still think you're in that sort of form. Yeah. And I think your manager said this week that there's a charged atmosphere. Everybody feels good and feels confident. Where you started last season, not so confident. There was holes in the team. You were quite easy to pass through. I watched every one of your preseason games last year, and I thought you could be in trouble. But you just persevered and you stuck with it. And I think one other thing, and I'd love to get Jesse's opinion on this too. You made subs and lots of subs, but the system, the shape. Yeah. Everything stayed consistent. And that, for me, again, as a rival watching, that's a very negative thing. For you guys, that's massively positive.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we changed every single outfield player. The only one who played 90 minutes was Jorgensen in goal. Everyone else played their part. And like you said, Gittins came on. I like that he dribbled with his head up, because I don't like wingers who dribble with their head down. He dribbled. He had some good touches, but Esteval's going to rightfully get the headlines. I mean, he was just sensational. And like I say, João Pedro with a great finish right at the end. It's just, we just roll on. For me, I still want another centre back, because I'm just not. That's just my own opinion. I'm not comfortable with our current centre backs for like a prolonged rest of the season and stuff like that, because I'm just not. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Do you know what I mean? But it's a good start, and maybe go on Sunday and batter Milan. So you know what I mean. So
absolutely, Jesse. How did you feel about it, mate?
First of all, I want Chelsea fans to give the sporting directors some sort of praise, because for the last 2 years, the last 2 seasons, all they got was stick and flack. Right? What we saw tonight with Esteval and Esugo especially is testament to their recruitment. We have to give them some praise. Esugo, my God. Caicedo needs to look over his shoulder because this guy looks like he's going to be a beast. He is going to be a beast, right? Estevar William. Yes. Should I say generational talent? Or is it too soon for that? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Sunday. Wait till after Sunday. If he does it again Sunday.
Yes, well, so true. Right? But this kid, we all saw what he did against us in the FIFA Club World Cup with that goal from that acute angle. We all knew we had somebody special here, a special player. But to see him today in our colors, my God, I can't wait for next season. I can't wait for next season. Hato, Cucurella, you need to look over your shoulder. The only negative I would say is, like you guys just said as well, in terms of Delap, I think he drifted in and out of the game in bits and pieces. But that's basically, to me, I think that's how the team is set up. It looks like we are set up to more play a false nine with João Pedro, because João Pedro came on and this guy was everywhere. The team looked a little more comfortable with João Pedro on the pitch. If I don't know if it's just me, but that's what it looked like. The team looked better. They look more fluent. And Jamie Gittins, oh my gosh, testament to the sporting directors yet again, because Jadon Sancho wasn't doing that last season. End product wasn't there.
Never doing it.
He wasn't doing that.
Never.
Jamie Gittins came. The thing about it is, he wasn't just dribbling for dribbling's sake.
Yeah.
He was dribbling and getting crosses across. Some kind of end product.
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho last season wasn't doing that. He always passed the ball right back. Now, I don't think you will have to see, well, Cucurella will be getting in the box and getting more goals, especially coming from on that left-hand side, because he likes to crash the box as well.
Yeah.
So Maresca is going to have a headache.
Good. That's what he wants. That's what he wants.
One last
thing. Great headache. Yeah.
One last thing. With all these players that we have, what's his name? Pedro Neto. I still need to see this guy in this team. This guy is a workhorse.
Yeah.
He is like the Willian who we had all them years back, who used to do all the hard work for the front three.
Yeah.
And he does all the hard work. Pedro Neto runs like he's that runner. We need this guy in this team. I don't know.
I think we're going to see a lot of rotation in the first half of the season because of the Club World Cup and everything like that, and because we're in Champions League and everything like that. I think we're going to see a lot of rotation. Not like every game, like 5 or 6 changes, but like 3 or 4 maximum, stuff like that, just to keep it fresh. And Pedro Neto, like you said, he's a workhorse. He can, look at the Club World Cup final. He was playing left wing back. He wasn't even playing wing. Do you know what I mean? I agree, but you know what it is? It's options. Because I'm not a hater of Noni Madueke, but he would dribble, but he wouldn't be able to pick a pass like Gittins, like we saw Gittins did today. He would dribble past someone, but then the next stage it wouldn't compute. It just wouldn't connect like that. And I know people are going to go as a pre-season friendly, but I look at performances more than results when it comes to pre-season friendly. And they're already starting to link up. And this is a Leverkusen side who are deep into their pre-season. Yeah. They played 5 or 6 games, so the preparation is there for them. And we've had 4 weeks off.
They just, like 2 seasons ago, last season or so, they went a whole season unbeaten.
Yeah.
So now,
they've got a new manager and stuff, but they you didn't just play a bunch of bums out there. 100%. Andrew, I'm going to bring through Andrew Barnes now. thanks for coming on, mate. I appreciate it, brother. We'll chat to you soon, my friend. Thank you
Yeah,
very much indeed. Thank you. Andrew Barnes is with us now. What are you saying, brother?
Hello, Terry. How are you?
I'm very, very good. What do you want to say?
I want to take it forward from what Jesse said to say that, we actually, the performances matter. Okay. And we have done extremely well in terms of how we handle this game. The scoreline 2-0 doesn't reflect the performance of this game because we fully control that first half. Those guys had no chance, like absolutely no chance. The
Yeah.
only time that they troubled Jorgensen was on dead ball situations when they had to like do free kicks or corners. Otherwise, they were not even troubling the defense. What I liked a lot is the mindset. Is when Estevao scored his goal, they all made sure that they celebrated the goal with him. I enjoyed watching that because they're welcoming this new guy. Yes, I'm not
Yeah.
going to get gassed about a preseason goal, but it's the instinct, it's the mindset, it's the team dynamics that I'm seeing, which I am really really happy about. And like you said, Terry, in your prelogue, like it was it's going to be beautiful to watch Palmer and Estevao play because they both can do the same thing and they can interchange, and it's going to be a nightmare for defenders to like sort of mark these guys. If they both play on the field together, it's going to be a nightmare because Estevao, one thing I like about him, he's like Palmer. As soon as he's in a dangerous position, he's confident enough to take the shot. He's not trying to cut back, look for who else he can pass to. He's confident to take the shot. I love it. And I just want to say, like, that Isugo, that tackle that he did at one point in time, I
Yeah.
watched, I saw the substitutions, but when he did that tackle, I was like, wait, didn't they just take Caicedo off? It was clean, like the guy's looking for a foul, but this guy is a beast. Like,
Yeah.
I'm extremely, I want to agree with Jesse to say that even I was one of the guys who was giving flack to the sporting directors to say, okay, what are these guys doing? But we knew that they're going to spend a lot of money, they're going to buy a bunch of guys to figure it out. But we can clearly see that they're figuring it out, that we are buying in this window, we are buying to what we need. And I'm not going to say anything bad about Jadon Sancho. He scored some crucial goals and crucial
Yes, he
moments for
did.
us.
Yeah.
But I'm happy about that. I'm also happy that okay, today he's not there and we got Jamie Gittins instead, because the moment he came on, in less than like 2 minutes, he already created a chance for Estevao. Estevao hit it wide, but that was a close one. And it was good to see. And Hato, he seems so confident, so comfortable with the ball. I'm really happy with the squad. What we need to see now, Terry, I think you mentioned this, or I don't know if Andrew said it, is when we play Crystal Palace, I want to see, the physicality, because then you have the crowd, the pressure, basically the things that that we don't see that sort of affect the players.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to see, how these young guys, because one thing that you mentioned is that yes, it's going to be, they are going to be a threat to this title challenge, and they definitely are going to be there in talks. But it's these young guys, maybe they won't be what do you say, fatigued because of this long season, but sometimes in the mindset. So Maresca's really got to have them on the ball all the time, knowing what to do. But I'm very very happy, Terry. I am
Yeah,
genuinely happy with
I
with
bet
this
you
squad.
are with that. You are. Jesse, we're going to be Quest through now, my friend. Thank you for jumping on the show. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
just
it,
one
brother.
thing, before I go. Most Chelsea fans, now that we have Esteva and Cole Palmer, we saw them play together tonight. What about Xavi Simons? Think about that. I go on all you.
Cheers, bro. Thank you very much, my man. Well, you got Xavi Simmons coming through.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Garnacho as well. Your manager just said that he also wants centre backs as well. Got a couple of super chats before we speak to Quest here. First one says Chelsea's owners proving the model works. You get, I think, starting to show it, my friend. And I think it's been right to call things out and criticize things when it hasn't been understood. But it should be another lesson to people, Mike, that maybe when you don't understand something, maybe doing a Jamie Carragher conclusion might make you look silly in the future. And I wonder what we would have all been saying in the first 2 or 3 years of FSG, if content and if mainstream media were doing content like Fans, longer format, bigger, longer debates. I wonder what would have been said about that. You know, I just sometimes look at these situations and we're watching in real time clubs change and evolve. And the one thing I criticize Chelsea for, and our long-standing Chelsea viewers will remember this, Mike, I used to say that Roman between 03, 04 and when FFP came in and the new TV deal money was almost simultaneous, where suddenly other clubs had a lot more cash. You guys won majority of your trophies under him came in that period. After that, you did still win league titles, Champions Leagues, and everything else, but there was bigger gaps. There was less league title challenges because it became harder. And I always felt there had to be a reviewing of Chelsea's model. And what we've seen in real time is a club have to rip everything up from the past and start something that has long-term legs on it, where there is a club style, a system, a type of player, a method of bringing in additional money, competing with the biggest clubs in the world that do have bigger fan bases. And you found that strategy, and it is starting to pay dividends. And maybe the next time a club starts off and maybe goes backwards in the first year and makes a few mistakes as they're building, because you guys stripped everything back. You knocked it all down and started again. Maybe next time when that's being done, there should be criticism and concern, but maybe next time there shouldn't be overarching full conclusions being made that early. I think that's a lesson for all of us. No one here point scoring. I think it's a lesson for all of us. It really, really is. Kwess, you were very confident about tonight when you spoke yesterday on the Top 6 show. How impressed were you with your Chelsea team tonight?
Impressed is probably not enough to describe how I feel. I'm not gonna lie. I feel satisfied. That's probably the most accurate word, because going into this game, I didn't really have any expectations. We just won the Club World Cup. We're world champions. Everybody can hold that. So for me, really, it was just about coming back into preseason and just making sure we continue to do what we've done over the past couple of months. You know, what's beautiful actually for me, is I've been seeing Arsenal fans all week saying, why does preseason matter? Why does preseason matter? This is why preseason matters. Because when your team puts in a good performance, what it does is it starts to cultivate joy in the fan base. And that's what I was getting from the stadium and from the players and from the general game. That's what I felt. I felt like joy was just oozing like expressions, like oozing out of that game, bro. That's what I felt. And people have said it already today, yeah? You say go, okay? There's too many names. If I start, I'll be here for years, yeah, and I don't want to, but Gittins, Eusego, João Pedro, these signings are doing something I've not felt probably since like Hazard times. I'll be honest. Like watching Esteval Willian. Oh my, listen. Hey, people were trying to argue with me the other day. Madueke, no, let me put respect on his name. Madueke, maybe you're gonna miss him. He's a top quality. I said, no, I've been watching this guy for 3 years now. Yeah, I understand when I see something that doesn't work. Esteval Willian works and then some. And this is what I mean about joy. For me, this feels like we're now building a squad where people won't even be mad to see Chelsea win. Because previously when Chelsea have won league titles or they've won European trophies, people are like, stuff Chelsea. It's almost like they don't like the squad. This is not only a likable squad, but a talented squad and an effective and dangerous squad too. The things I saw on the pitch today, yeah, bring this season on, Terry. It's going to be a good one.
And do you know what's interesting? I do believe in what you've said about the feel-good factor. Now, the problem is we live in a very polarized world, a very polarized society, where when you say, encourage the team, be happy, don't be so negative, people go, oh, you're just toxic positive. And I do believe there are horrible, toxic positive people, and I believe there are nasty, horrible, negative people. Your team needs a balance. But actually, like I know Real Madrid fans, when they're upset, do the white flags and they'll whistle, and a handful of fans will shout at cars. But the vast majority, I've watched the games where they're struggling. The vast majority, it's I'm gonna speak it in English, but they do it in Spanish. It's come on, boys, let's go. Yeah. And I do think that encouragement yields better results than consistent, widespread negativity. And I know sometimes you need to be encouraged by the performances, you need to be encouraged by how you're playing, and I'm not discounting that. But that's why I think having you guys having that, winning what you did, having a decent preseason. I'm hopeful for Man United. We kick off at 12:45 tomorrow, our last preseason game. We can play well, beat Fiorentina, look decent, meet Shesko. In Bumo or Cunha gets a goal, and you suddenly go, I can't wait now for that Arsenal game. That'll put the fans in a mood where it's going to be bopping on the first day. And it is important where I think there are other clubs going into that opening game. I think they're feeling a little nervous, a little bit apprehensive, and that can filter onto the football pitch. So, look, listen, what the team does also echoes how the crowd is as well, and you've got to get that unison. And I think Chelsea fans right now, probably for the first time in 3 years, maybe the first time in 4 years, there seems to be some unity, some togetherness, some happiness. I don't see Chelsea fans on socials fighting with one another. I've seen this before. I saw this in 2022. This reminds me so much. Yours has been a tournament, not a full preseason summer, of that Arsenal growth that year where they went on and had that title race. It's just the way you were all, as Chelsea fans, talking and feeling. It's very, very similar to me.
Yep.
But
And this
Terry,
is...
I also want
Sorry, go on.
sorry. So I wanted to say that João Pedro really, like, as a striker, right? Like, you need a little bit of luck. I think everybody knows that. And this guy, since he's come on, like, he's played 4 games, he scored 4 goals, and you can see that he's always finding himself in the right moment in the box, and he's confident. And he's not cocky. There's this like nice air about him that he's there. He's playing for the team. You can see that he's trying to get everybody involved, even in his celebrations. Like, today was such a joy. I think the fans called him back, and he went back to the fans and he celebrated. I saw the moment when Estevao called Palmer and he did this to him. Like these small things really create this feel good factor in the team, and I'm all for it. Like, I am so excited for the season. Again, we will be in the mix. We don't know how it's going to be, but I still have chest to say that every game we go in, we definitely have more than a chance.
Yes, and that is, I think, I know winning the trophies is what everybody wants, but I always think back to my childhood, and I know that United were winning a lot of trophies, so people might say there's a flaw to the logic, which is a fair challenge. But it was knowing that every game I went into, and I think Chelsea fans from around 03, 04 felt like this for a long time, and Arsenal fans, the majority of the Premier League era, and I can only speak of the Premier League era because I remember a little bit before the Premier League, but it's hazy because of my age. We always knew we had a chance in nearly every game we played. And I think that's what's wound Chelsea and United fans up in the last 2 or 3 years, is we have both gone into so many matches knowing probably going to lose today. That we're going to win today. And I think it's what I like is I'm not bitter about what you guys are doing. It actually inspires me that I know my team can potentially get out of this. Similar things to yourselves, though. We open our new £50 million training ground today. Good signings coming in. I just don't think owners do that and invest that way just for your team to stay 15th. I just don't personally see that being the case, but that's just me. Andrew, thank you for coming on, mate. I'm going to bring Nick through now. Top man, thank you very much indeed, brother. Thank you. Nick is on the show with us as well. Now, what do you want to say, Nick?
I just want to start by crediting Maresca, to be fair. I mean, if you think about, we didn't finish the game with the exact same 11. It completely switched out and nothing changed. And you saw academy players like Raksaki come on and nothing changed at all. It was the exact same quality on the field. So from that point, Maresca has just built such a good system. And it kind of goes back to when that game where the £1 billion bottle jobs against Liverpool, where Jurgen Klopp brought on all of his kids. And in that game, it said the system that he built was perfect. Doesn't matter who came on, it was chop and change. And it was exactly the same as what I'm starting to see now. So from that point of view, I think Maresca's got to take a lot of credit. I know, obviously, it's pre-season and you need to see it in the kind of Premier League bigger games, but it's something to get excited about.
For sure.
And the main thing is kind of the versatility we're seeing now in all these attacking players. I mean, you've seen João Pedro come on the field, and the ability to score a goal is something which we've been lacking with Jackson. And it's that clear goal. It's not even clear goal scoring opportunities. He's cutting in and he's curling one in top corners. He's chipping it. He's ramp side of the box, one touch, bang, in. So we're seeing a lot of these attacking players come in now, and they're making a difference. And as you said earlier on, you've got players who can play in that 10 role, who can switch over to the right, then can switch over to the left. So we're seeing a lot of versatility now, which is going to be interesting this season because we've got a lot of players potentially still to come in, and it's interesting to see how he's going to fit all of them in. Because I mean, I've seen Esteval said he'd want to play in the 10, and that's his favoured position. I mean, me personally, I prefer Perma out on the right. But I mean, you've got so many players there, even with Neto. I mean, I kind of felt bad for him in the Club World Cup because to me, he was actually our player of the tournament. I mean, I know obviously Palmer got it because of what he did in the final, but for me, he was our best player consistently in the tournament. I know Caicedo does his thing, but especially in attacking wise, he was our best player. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he fits everyone in this season. And one thing I want to say about Gittins as well, because I hadn't actually seen much of him when he was at Dortmund. I hadn't actually watched a game of him at all. So the only thing I'd seen of him was from his highlight reel. And obviously I know anyone can really look good in a highlight reel, but one thing I saw from him was that he was explosive, he looked quick, he likes to take a man on. And from that short period he had today, it was the exact same thing. And if that's not just going to be his highlight reel and that is just his game, then it's something to be really excited about. So I'm looking forward to this season.
It is. And what you have in your team is something I've wanted at my club for a long time. So I'm going to echo that same energy. Is you have a lot of players now that can score difficult goals, or the modern day phrase is shit, like low XG chances. It's such a mouthful, but it's those half chances and score goals from nothing. Long distance efforts, shots from acute angles. They can shoot from. You've just got these players now that are capable of helping you score games in score goals in difficult games. Mo Salah is the master at this. Liverpool could be struggling for clear-cut goals. He'll drop a shoulder, give himself off the aisle, curl it into the far top corner. You've got Palmer, you've got João Pedro, you've got Esteval that can do that. Plus, I think João Pedro's got that well in his locker. You suddenly got
that as well.
The lap can. The lap. That's really crazy. People are going to end up sleeping on the lap because of how well the others have started. He's gonna fire as well, and it's just. Again, it's sobering from a rival's perspective. There's nothing, I just don't, other than Colwell's injury, but that can happen. And your club, this is the manager comes straight out and says, look, we're going to focus on getting some centre-backs in. You're not just going to go and buy a centre-back. So as much as this isn't to sound disrespectful to Colwell, there's nothing for you, man, to worry about, for me.
The Lap and Pedro is actually the most interesting one for me because I want to know who he's going to favour. Because I know obviously Delap coming into this, he's going to want to be the next striker to take on Harry Kane and be that next England striker. And I would have thought he'd come to Chelsea and he'd want to get in that World Cup squad. But João Pedro doing what he's doing, he's got to be playing as well. So I'm really intrigued. That's what I said a minute ago. I'm really intrigued to see how he kind of plays with this because you've got a lot of versatility in there. But as I said, especially if you bring in Javi Simmons and you bring in Garnacho as well, with all of these players as well. I know George will probably go out the door and Kunku probably will as well, and potentially Jackson. So you are going to have some changes there, but there's going to be so much rotation. And it's with João Pedro, as you kind of said a minute ago, it's the range of goals which I'm liking and which I'm seeing, and we've actually struggled to have that over the last few years, really. Especially for multiple players. So I'm really intrigued with them two players to see who's going to play, whether you're going to see João Pedro playing a 10, whether you're going to see him play as a striker. It'll be interesting.
It's going to be crazy for you guys. A few super chats here. The first one here says Gittins, Palmer, Esteval, Pedro, Delap, Neto. That's from D, and all of them. I think again, Delap weren't overly involved, but he still got onto a couple of chances, which on another day he's going to score. And I think that just tells you something. Chelsea might actually win the Champions League with Champions League. Esteval is fire. Champions League is you're in that group. The club believes, the fans believe, the players have just won a massive international tournament against some very good teams. You've got a chance of winning that.
It's the one I want.
100%. Yeah, that's what I said. You know, when I said this the other day, Terry, and people were saying, "Are you crazy?" You said it earlier. It got to a point, Chelsea and United, where as a fan, you're just thinking, "I don't know if we're going to win or lose." And I'm pretty sure we're not going to win today. So it gets to the point where with the league, if you're not confident you're going to win, you know the league's not on. But with a competition like the Champions League, anything can happen. That's why for me, I've loved the way we've been over the past couple of years, but the way we're shaping up now, things look so good that it's like, you know what, just bring everything on. Let's not talk too much too soon. Let's just bring it on and see. But I'm confident that in the biggest games, we'll be able to get it done. And let me just say this really quickly. I do need people to put respect on Jackson's name. Because what people need to remember is he's played like his second or third flight of full-time first-team football, and he's a converted winger to striker. He's not even supposed to be doing what he's done at the club. So now that we're seeing Delap and João Pedro, let's just enjoy it. Let's not even let it be about what Jackson didn't do. Let's enjoy him because Delap, for me, like you said, you know, that Barclays Prem type player. Oh my God. I'm just watching the lap crashing into man, hitting the box, trying to just touch you with the outside.
And it's
This guy's
different.
truth.
And it gives you difference in the way you play.
100%.
D here says Terry Chelsea is getting Javi Simmons to be the one helping the lap with those tight spaces, passes. Yeah, and he's different again to other players that play in those roles and gives you that area. You've got someone again like Garnacho, who I think is going to be a powerhouse from you from that bench, coming on last 20 minutes, 15 minutes of games. I think that's where it will start, and I think you'll have that. I think George will go out on loan because I think all those other players are ahead of him now. But I think George has got a big future. Roman picked Bowley to kill FFP. UTC, we've got ballers.
Up the Chelsea.
That's what it means. Right, there we go. Although I've been doing this a long time with fans of the club, sometimes I see their abbreviations and my brain goes, I don't know what that means. Chelsea are ready to battle. They showed versus PSG. You are. And look, winning the league is hard because it's 38 games of consistency you need. But Chelsea have a chance in that. They've got an absolute chance in all the cup competitions they're in. This could be a phenomenal year for Chelsea. There's no doubt about that.
I think where if it's going to happen in the league, what needs to change, where we haven't really seen in years, is Arsenal have had the better of us. We've drawn games with Liverpool. I know we beat them last year, but it was the game after they won the league. And if they were still fighting, I still would have bet on them to beat us in that game. But Arsenal have had the better over us. We haven't really beaten Liverpool. I don't think we've beaten City since the Champions League final. I need to start seeing us, even United. I know we're beating you a couple of times, but we always make it look difficult. I need us to start winning these games, and that's when I'll say I think we can go for the league. If we're still there if we're there around Christmas, and let's say, for example, it's got to Christmas and we've drawn against Liverpool at Anfield. I don't know what the schedule is, so we might not play them then, but we've beating Man United, we've beaten Arsenal or something like that, or we've drawn against Liverpool, that's when I'd say, do you know what, I think we can go all the way. But until we start beating these teams who we haven't really been beating the last few years, I'm still going to say I don't think we can win the league yet.
I hear that, mate. I hear that. Listen, I want to thank everyone who's tuned into this show tonight, everyone who's hit the like button, all of the subscribers, all of our super chatters, my panelists, Nick, Kwess, Andrew Barnes, Andrew Wintersurfer, Jesse that was on as well. So thank you all very much indeed. Hit the like button before you go. We are back tomorrow morning, transfer news, and then match reactions tomorrow. It's like a normal, basically the weekends are like Premier League weekends now. So we've got 2 games tomorrow, United and Arsenal play, Chelsea on Sunday. We're basically back in the full swing of things with match reactions, which are my favorite shows in the world. But until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.